It's that they did not believe. Because they did not believe when they heard. Frustration set in. But when you believe, it casts out fear and doubt. Isaac shows us the generational progression of belief that's passed from bloodline. Abraham believed, and inevitably Isaac must believe. Jacob must believe. You're not believing just for yourself. You're believing for the generation that's coming after you. And if you fail in your belief, how can you remind your children that God was able to bring us out? We were homeless and God gave us a house. How can you prove to them that He's able to do it if you don't show? Yes. Isaac believed. Even with a contrary spouse, he yet believed. Against all odds, against everything that is counted against you, hope against hope, will you still believe? All year long, 2014, me and my husband preached, taught faith. Took a church 4 years ago, over $86,000 of debt. Several years before that, we walked with my father, who suffers from dementia, who's now in the early stage of Alzheimer's. Watched him from a little girl dream big. And here I am in the prime of my life, seeing the failing health of my father and everything that he dreamed about. But my father, even in his sickness, still believed. Every now and then, my dad, in the state that he's in, he would tell my mother, even though sometimes he wouldn't even know who we were, he would say, the church is going to be paid for. Because in his last stages, he was entering in, that was what was on his heart. My husband took on the burden of saying and making a vow that the church would be paid off. In 2014, we walked that year preaching that by this time next year, we're going to be standing in a debt-free church. Early December, God sent a millionaire in our path who remembered a prophecy that I spoke over their life, that money was going to come and it was going to drop. They made a vow that they were going to come back and bless the house that they received the prophecy. When they came, my husband and I were busy with some things pertaining to our home, fixing our homes, our floor. They asked us one question: how much do you owe on the church? We kept doing what we were doing, lady. Goodwood. We were busy, know, we were occupied in our life. God was using somebody who looked like they didn't have a dime. Y'all, they looked like they didn't have raggedy car, clothes. She looked like she didn't have a dime. There with her babies. Asked us 3 times, how much did we owe? Finally, I said to my husband, I said, I think you need to call the chairman, find out. So he did. He called. You know, we just did it out of obedience. Told them that the payoff amount was $28,000. I said, okay. Went out, came back in, and gave us a check for the payoff of our church. Of $28,000. The overhead was through tithes and offering that our people had given. But the rest of it, that was a nugget right there for some of y'all right there. That was the overhead. But the $28,000